Welcome to the world of science fiction Neon's Alien. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you never miss a new story from Neon's Alien universe. The desert winds blew hard that night. Dust flew through the broken windows of the small human field clinic on the edge of Zone 9. Lights flickered. Machines beeped weakly. Supplies were low, and Dr. Liam was the only medic on duty. He had been here for 6 months now, patching up wounded soldiers, calming scared civilians, and trying to forget the war outside. The human-alien conflict had destroyed cities and broken peace talks. But Liam didn't carry weapons. He carried bandages, not bullets. He believed in one thing: life must be saved, no matter whose blood it is. The wind howled louder. Then, a noise outside. A sharp thud. Liam stood quickly and grabbed his scanner. Probably another drone crash, he muttered. He stepped outside, his boots sinking into the red dust. The night was quiet, except for the wind. Then he saw something. A figure was lying near the edge of the fence, half buried in sand. He rushed over. It was a woman, an alien, tall with glowing silver skin and long black hair tied behind her head. Her robe was torn and burned. Blood ran down her leg and her breathing was slow. Her hands clutched her side like something inside had broken. Liam's heart raced. Was she part of the enemy? He looked closer. She was young, maybe in her 20s by human guess. Her face was bruised, but her eyes, they opened and locked onto his. "Help me," she whispered. Her voice was soft, but her eyes were fierce. Liam stared at her. "Who are you?" She tried to sit up, but her body trembled. I can't say," she said. "But please, if you don't help me, I'll die." Liam's hands shook. If the soldiers saw her, they would arrest her or worse, but he didn't move. "Please," she said again. "I'm not your enemy." He knelt beside her, scanned her vitals. Internal bleeding, cracked ribs, dehydrated. She was dying. Liam made his decision. "All right," he said. "Let's get you inside." He carried her into the clinic, laid her gently on the medbed, and closed the window blinds. He locked the door behind him. As he cleaned her wounds, she winced, but didn't cry. "You've done this before," he said. "I've been running for days," she whispered. "They shot me when I escaped the cruiser. I barely survived the crash." Liam looked up. "Escaped? Are you a prisoner?" She didn't answer. Instead, she stared at the ceiling and whispered, "I wasn't supposed to leave, but I couldn't stay, not after what they did." Liam placed a healing patch on her side. "What's your name?" "Selari." He froze. That name was not just familiar, it was famous. Princess Selari, daughter of King Varon Zayal, ruler of the Zinthari Empire, known across the stars as proud, dangerous, and most importantly, missing. "You're the king's daughter," Liam said quietly. She looked away. "I was. Before I became a problem." Now his heart pounded louder than the storm outside. "If someone finds you here," he said, "I'll be charged with treason." Sayalari turned her head toward him, eyes shining. "You think I don't know that?" she said. "Do you think I trust you? I don't. But I came here because humans are known to help strangers. That is your weakness and your strength." Liam stared at her for a moment, then smiled. "Fair enough." He worked in silence, stitching her shoulder, wrapping her ribs. After an hour, her breathing slowed. She was stable. He handed her a cup of water. She drank it slowly, then said, "Why did you help me?" Liam shrugged. "Because you needed help. Even when I could be lying. I'd rather save a liar than let someone die who told the truth too late." She looked at him long and hard. No human ever spoke like that before. Liam stood and stretched. "You haven't met many medics." That night, as the storm outside passed, Liam sat beside her, watching her sleep. He didn't know what tomorrow would bring: soldiers, spies, death. But one thing was clear. He had just saved the most wanted alien in the sector, and nothing would ever be the same again. The desert sun rose slowly, painting the sky in soft orange and gold. But inside the small human clinic, it was still cold. "Doctor." Liam hadn't slept. He sat by the medical bed watching the alien princess as she rested. Her breathing was steady now. The bleeding had stopped. Her bruises were healing, but the danger had only just begun. Princess Sayalari, daughter of the most feared alien king in the galaxy, was lying quietly in his care. Every second she stayed here was a risk. If human soldiers found out, Liam would be marked a traitor, but sending her away would mean sending her to her death, and somehow, he couldn't do that. She opened her eyes. "You're still here," she whispered. Liam leaned forward. "Didn't have anywhere else to be." "You should have left," she said, "or turned me in. Most humans would." He raised an eyebrow. "You came to me for help." She nodded weakly. "I did, and I still don't know if that was a mistake." Liam shrugged. "Let's find out together." He handed her a scanner. "Check your vitals. You're stable now, but still weak." She took it. Her hands were shaking slightly. "I haven't eaten in 2 days." He got up and returned with a ration bar and some clean water. As she ate, she looked around the room. Bare metal walls, shelves full of human medicines, and a dusty photo of Earth on the table. "This place is ugly," she said. Liam laughed. "You're welcome," she smiled, just a little. "What is that?" she asked, pointing at the photo. "Earth, my home." She studied it closely. "So blue, it doesn't look like a war planet." "It's not," he said. "Not always." She finished eating, then sat up slowly. "You risked everything for me." "I didn't do it for your title," he said. "I did it because someone was bleeding on my doorstep." She went quiet for a moment, then asked, "Why are you here? A medic? In the middle of nowhere?" Liam leaned back. "Because war makes people forget kindness. I came here to remember." Later that day, footsteps echoed near the outer wall. Liam's heart jumped. He moved fast, helping Salari into a hidden supply chamber. "Stay silent. Don't move," he whispered. She nodded and disappeared behind the shelves. The clinic door opened. 2 human soldiers stepped in, dusty and tired. "Doc," one said, "we're doing a sweep. Command heard a distress signal in this area." Liam played it calm. "Just another drone crash, probably. Happens every night." One soldier walked slowly toward the back of the clinic. Liam's heart pounded. What if she made a sound? What if they opened the wrong door? But the soldier turned back. "Nothing here." The other one said, "Report says someone may be hiding. Could be Zinthari. Could be a deserter." Liam smiled casually. "Nothing hiding here but dust and broken lights." They stayed for 5 more minutes than left. When the door closed, Liam ran to the back and opened the storage room. Salari stepped out. Her eyes narrowed. "You lied for me." "I told the truth," Liam replied. "Nothing here but dust and broken lights." She looked at him strangely. "You could have let them take me." "I could have," he said. "But I didn't." She took a deep breath. "Then I owe you my life." "No," Liam said. "You owe me your story." That night, as the sky turned, Violet Sayalari spoke. She told him about her father's court, about how she had argued for peace but was laughed at, how she was told to stay silent, smile, and wave to cameras. "I was a puppet with a golden crown," she said, "so I escaped. They called it treason. And you were shot down." She nodded. "Yes, and I crawled through the desert, bleeding, ready to die. Until I saw your light." Liam looked at her. "You're not the enemy they say you are." She turned to him, voice quiet. "And you're not the savage my people trained me to fear." They sat in silence, 2 strangers from opposite sides of a war. But in that quiet room, under dim lights and the hum of old machines, something began to change. Not just wounds, not just fear, but trust. Outside the clinic, under a pile of sand, a small black object blinked red, a hidden tracker. Someone had already sent a signal and danger was coming. The morning felt too quiet. Dr. Liam stood outside his clinic staring into the dusty wind. The storm had passed, but something in the air still felt heavy. Wrong. Behind him, hidden in the back room, Princess Sayalari slept on a cot, breathing, easier now. Her color had returned. The wounds were healing, but trust was not so easy to fix. Inside the camp, whispers had started. A supply tech had mentioned seeing Liam talking to someone late at night. A patrol unit said he kept his doors locked more than usual, and now Corporal Rin, a fellow human medic, was watching him closely. Rin was sharp, loyal, and curious. Too curious. She leaned against the clinic wall. "You've been busy, haven't you?" she said, voice casual. Liam kept his face calm. "Still patching up broken arms and heat stroke. Same as always." Rin narrowed her eyes. "Command says a royal shuttle was shot down 2 clicks from here. Someone might have survived. Maybe even someone important." Liam shrugged. "I don't treat politics, I treat bleeding." Rin stepped closer, lowering her voice. "If you saw something, if you helped someone, you should say now, before it becomes treason." Liam looked her in the eye. "If I see someone bleeding, I help. Doesn't matter what color their blood is." She didn't reply. She simply turned and walked away, too slowly, like she wanted him to wonder. And Liam did, because he saw the small, blinking light clip to her boot. A tracker. That night, Liam moved Sayalari to an old cave system 1/2 mile away, hidden behind the rocks near the canyon wall. She limped beside him, still healing. "Why are we moving again?" "Because people are asking questions," he said. "And I think someone already sent a signal." She stopped, her breath short. "You should let me go." He turned to her. "Why?" "Because they'll kill you for helping me." Liam didn't flinch. "Then let them try." For a moment she looked like she might cry. But she didn't. She was too proud for that. "Why are you doing this?" she asked. Liam looked at her, quiet for a moment. "Because I believe you're more than the title they gave you." The cave was old, dry, and mostly forgotten. Inside, Liam set up a small generator and placed his portable medkit near a flat stone where Sayalari could rest. They were safe, for now. As he changed her bandages, she watched him with tired eyes. "You work with such care," she said. He smiled. "I had a sister once. She was sick for a long time. I learned to be careful with people." "What happened to her?" "She died. War medicine came too late." Sayalari looked down. "I'm sorry." He nodded. "I promised myself," he said. "No one would be too late on my watch." She studied his face. "Even your enemies?" He looked her in the eye. "You stopped being my enemy the second I saw you bleeding in the sand." Outside, the night deepened, but near the old clinic, a black drone arrived, silent and sharp like a knife in the dark. It hovered over the ground and scanned the area. Then it blinked. The signal from Rin's tracker activated. Coordinates locked. Transmission sent. In the cave, Sayalari suddenly sat up. Her eyes glowed faintly. "What's wrong?" Liam asked. She touched her chest. "Someone's close, watching. I can feel it." He reached for his scanner and checked the satellite feed. One red dot was moving fast across the sand, heading straight for the cave. Liam cursed. "They're coming." "How many?" "Just one for now. Probably a scout." She stood up, wincing, in pain. "We can't be caught here, not in this cave." "Then we move," he said, "but not far. I have an idea." 10 minutes later, the drone landed near the cave entrance. Its scanner scanned the ground. Heat signatures detected. It floated slowly inside and saw 2 bodies lying still in the dark. Unmoving. One human, one alien. The drone moved closer. Then, the cave collapsed. Rocks slammed down from above, triggered by a pressure sensor Liam had planted. The drone was crushed. Smoke filled the space, and hidden just above, inside a carved ledge, Liam and Sayalari held their breath. "You set a trap," she whispered. Let's call it self-defense, he whispered back. As the dust settled, they climbed down and ran into the canyon. Where are we going? She asked. To someone who might have answers, he said. Who? He looked at the glowing skyline in the distance. The last person I trust. Night covered the canyon like a dark blanket. Ryan and Sailari moved through the shadows, careful with every step. Behind them, the collapsed cave smoldered with smoke. If the Empire's hunters didn't know their location before, they did now. Their feet ached, her wounds still burned, but neither of them stopped. Not tonight. They were heading to a place few dared to go. At the edge of the dead zone, hidden beneath a rock ledge, was an old shelter, half buried, half forgotten. It wasn't on any maps. Liam had found it months ago while searching for lost supplies, and someone else had found it too. Inside was Commander Hale, a former field officer who had left the war, disgusted by both sides. He now traded information for silence. Some called him a deserter, others called him the last honest man. Liam pounded on the steel door. It slid open with a groan. A tall man with gray eyes and a cybernetic arm stepped out. I thought you were dead, Hale said. Not yet, Liam replied. But we will be if you don't let us in. Hale's eyes moved to Sailari. He froze. You brought her here? He said sharply. Do you have any idea what that means? I know exactly what it means, Liam said. That's why I brought her to you. Inside the shelter, warm lights flickered. Old maps hung on the walls, and a silent robot stirred tea on a heating plate. Sailari sat quietly, eyes scanning the room, her posture tense. She didn't trust Hale, and he didn't trust her. You're the king's daughter, he said. The one who vanished, the reason both sides are tearing this region apart. She met his stare. If you know that much, then you also know I didn't vanish, I ran. Because you were scared, he asked. No, she said coldly. Because I refused to become a weapon. Hale chuckled. And yet here you are. Running straight into the hands of a human medic. Liam stepped between them. Enough. I didn't bring her here for judgment. I brought her here for help. Hale looked at Liam for a long time. Let me guess, he said. You're starting to care. Liam didn't answer. Because he didn't need to. Later that night, Liam sat outside the shelter, staring at the stars. Sailari joined him. She sat. Close, not too close, but closer than before. You didn't have to defend me, she said softly. I did, he replied. She was quiet, then said, Most people fear me, or they want to use me. I'm not most people. No, she said. You're not. She leaned her head back and looked at the stars. My father used to tell me the stars belonged to our bloodline, that we were chosen to rule them. And, what do you believe? Liam asked. She turned to him. I believe the stars belong to anyone who chooses not to destroy them. A long silence followed. Then she asked, Do you think we can win? Win what? Liam replied. Peace. He smiled sadly. If it means breaking all the rules, maybe. Inside the shelter, alarms suddenly beeped. Hale ran to the console. A transmission was intercepted, encrypted, but the words were clear. Target acquired. Execute both. No trial. Sailari read the message over Hale's shoulder. Her face went pale. They won't take me alive, she said. Liam stepped forward. We're not letting them take you at all. But then, boom! The roof shook. Part of the canyon wall exploded. They're here, Hale shouted. We need to move. Smoke filled the room. Sailari grabbed a laser tool and tossed Liam a shield disc. As the walls crumbled, 2 armored soldiers entered. One aimed directly at Liam. Sailari saw it first. She jumped in front of him. The plasma shot hit her square in the side. She fell into Liam's arms. No! He cried out. Hale fired a pulse grenade, blowing the enemy back. Sailari gasped, her body shaking. I couldn't let them take you. Liam pressed on her wound. Don't talk. Stay with me. Her hand gripped his tightly. You saved me first, then... She blacked out. Later, After Hale drove them away in a stolen buggy, Liam sat in the back, holding her hand. She was still alive, but barely. Hale looked at Liam through the mirror. You broke every order, every law. Liam didn't look up. Didn't break, he said. I chose. And in that moment, Liam knew. He wasn't just fighting for a patient. He was fighting for her. The desert was quiet again, but it was the kind of quiet that comes after a scream. The stolen buggy lay in ruins, half buried in red sand. Smoke rose from its broken engine. Debris scattered for meters. The ambush had been fast and brutal. Precision. Strikes from above. Inside the wreck, Liam groaned, blood running from a cut above his brow. His first thought wasn't pain. It was Sayalari. He looked around. She was lying near him, unconscious, pale, and barely breathing. Her bandages were soaked. Her pulse was weak. He tried to move, but heavy boots slammed down around him. Voices shouted. Guns clicked. And then, everything went black. When Liam woke up, the world was metal. Cold walls, bright lights, clean floors. He was inside a military, holding cell, underground, deep inside an alien fortress. A collar was locked around his neck. Not just any collar, a speech suppressor. He couldn't even whisper without permission. 2 guards stood outside the door. Human, but not allies. They didn't even look at him. Across the room, through reinforced glass, he saw her, Princess Silari, strapped to a medical chair, IVs in. Her arms, machines monitoring every signal in her body. She looked fragile. Small. Nothing like the royal rebel everyone feared. A new figure walked in. Tall, armored in deep red with sharp gold eyes. General Kareth, personal enforcer of King. Varen. He spoke softly to the guards. Prepare the traitor for transfer. The king wants to see her die himself. Liam slammed his fists against the wall even though he knew they couldn't hear him. Kareth glanced at him and smiled. And this human? One guard asked. Kareth shrugged. He treated the king's daughter. That alone is reason to erase him. The guard hesitated. But isn't that saving her life? Kareth's voice turned ice cold. It wasn't his right to touch royal blood. The order was given, execution at sunrise. Later that night, Silari opened her eyes. Her head throbbed. Her side burned. But she could see Liam, sitting behind. Glass, his head down, his lips moving but no sound coming. The collar silenced him, but her heart still hurt him. She whispered to the nurse, Bring me to the court. I demand a trial by honor. The nurse froze. That law hasn't been used in centuries. I invoke it as royal blood. The king will never agree. Then tell him, she said, that if he refuses, I will scream to the galaxy that his own blood was saved by a human. Let him decide what shames him more. By morning, the court was filled. Alien nobles, royal warriors, officers in black armor, all gathered in a massive golden hall beneath the palace. The king, Veron. Sayal sat high on his throne, cold, unmoving. Liam was dragged in, still silent, still cuffed. Then came Sayalari, walking slowly, proudly, pain hidden behind fire in her eyes. She stood before her father. I call for trial by honor, she declared. Gasps filled the hall. Veron's voice was deep and dangerous. That law is dead. She stepped closer. Then so am I. But if you allow it, I will speak the truth. Before everyone. The king raised a hand. The room fell silent. You may speak, he said. Silari's voice echoed through the chamber. This human, Dr. Liam, did not treat me as an enemy. He found me bleeding, alone, hunted. He saved my life without asking who I was. He protected me. He risked execution for me. She turned to the crowd. And I have seen the face of our war. It is not just human. It is ours too. We taught our children to hate. to fear. But we never taught them mercy. The nobles shifted, uncomfortable, some angry, some ashamed. She turned to her father. You always said honor was more important than pride. Then honor this. Let the truth speak. Not bloodlines, not fear, just truth. The king stared at her, then turned to his guards. Remove the collar. They hesitated. Do it, he said. The collar unlocked. Liam gasped for air and looked straight at the king. He spoke only one sentence. I didn't save a princess. I saved a person. The hall went quiet. The words hit harder than any speech. Varan stood slowly. He stepped down from the throne. His footsteps echoed. He walked past the guards, past the nobles, and stood face to face with Liam. Would you do it again? He asked. Liam didn't blink. Yes. Varan turned to his daughter. You love him? I trust him, she said. And is that not love? She said nothing. But her silence was louder than any yes. The king raised a hand, and to the shock of all, he spoke. Then let him live, as protector of my daughter. The room exploded in whispers, and Liam, just a simple human medic, had become the one thing no one expected, a royal guardian. The royal city was no longer silent. After the trial by honor, rumors spread like wildfire through the marble halls and neon streets. The king spared the human. The princess defended him. A medic had shamed warriors. In every tavern and noble court, one question echoed. Why? Dr. Liam now lived within the golden walls of the palace, but not as a guest. He was being watched. Guards followed him. Whispers followed. He was called many things, traitor, hero, parasite, but the king had made his decision. Protector of the princess. And no one, not even the royal council, could undo it. Not yet. Still something wasn't right. Too many eyes. Too many secrets. Even Silari, strong and calm on the outside, seemed troubled inside. She rarely slept. She often stood on the high balcony, watching the city like a hawk watches the wind. Liam finally asked, What are you afraid of? She didn't turn around. The truth. That afternoon, Liam was summoned to the inner throne chamber. It wasn't the large public court. It was the old royal hall deep below the palace. Only the king, his advisors, and selected guests could enter. Silari walked beside him. This is not a reward, she warned. It's a test. Liam nodded. Then I'll pass it. She almost smiled. Inside, the chamber was silent and gold. The ceiling glowed softly, and the floor reflected every step like water. King Varan sat alone on the high seat. To his right stood the Truth Keeper, a blind alien priest who had served 5 kings. His skin shimmered, and his hands held a thin silver box, the mind scale. The king spoke first. You are not here as my daughter's protector today. You are here as a man with nothing but your word. Liam bowed. Then I'll speak it. Varan nodded to the Truth Keeper. Begin. The old priest opened the mind scale. It hovered between them, glowing faintly. This device does not read lies, the priest explained. It reads intention, heart, memory. If your truth is pure, the scale glows blue. If twisted, red. Liam stepped forward. The Truth Keeper asked only one question. Why did you save the princess? Liam took a deep breath. She was bleeding, he said. She was scared. She could have been anyone. But I didn't see a princess. I didn't see an alien. I saw someone left behind by war. The mind scale shimmered, then pulsed bright blue. The nobles in the room gasped. Even the king's expression changed just slightly. The Truth Keeper nodded. He speaks from the soul. But then something unexpected happened. The scale glowed again, this time brighter. The priest looked confused. He's not finished. Liam spoke again, but this time, slower. I didn't just save her because I'm a medic. I saved her because something inside me refused to walk away. I stayed because part of me knew I'd never forgive myself if I let her die. He looked at Sayalari. And maybe part of me was already connected to her before I even knew it. The mind scale flashed pure white. The room went dead silent. The Truth Keeper stepped back, stunned. Such resonance is extremely rare. Veron rose from his throne. I have only seen that color once, he said. The day I first held my daughter. Sailari stepped forward, her voice steady. Now do you understand, Father? This human risked death, broke laws, and stood before your enemies, not for glory, but for life. He has done what many of our people have forgotten how to do. The king looked at them both. I see it now. But then, from the shadows, a voice interrupted. The scale can be tricked. Everyone turned. General Kareth, clad in new black armor, walked slowly into the chamber. Intentions are not always truth, he said. Loyalty must be proven, not just felt. The king narrowed his eyes. What are you suggesting? Kareth bowed. Let the human be tested once more, in the pit of voices. Gasps echoed again. The pit was a sacred place, a mental arena, a trial of the mind. There, a person's memories were made public, their deepest thoughts exposed. It was the final test. Sailari stepped forward. No, it's too dangerous. His mind could fracture. Liam looked at her and nodded. I'll do it. As the court cleared and the trial was prepared, Sailari took Liam's hand. You don't need to prove anything, she said quietly. Yes, I do, he replied. Not just to them, to me. She squeezed his hand gently. Then whatever you find in there, don't face it alone. The pit of voices was not a place of fire or stone. It was a chamber of silence. A round room built from smooth black crystal deep beneath the palace. There were no weapons, no armor, only light and truth. Liam stood at the center, surrounded by the royal court, the king, nobles, and the council. Above him, the air shimmered like water. This was where memories lived, where secrets came alive. He looked across the room and found her, Sailari, watching with fear in her eyes. But she did not stop him. She trusted him, and that gave him strength. The Truth Keeper's voice echoed. Step forward, human. Let the pit know you. Liam closed his eyes and stepped into the light. The room changed instantly. Suddenly, Liam wasn't standing on stone. He was in his childhood home on Earth, watching his sister laugh as they danced in the rain. Then the rain turned red, a flash, his sister lying in a hospital bed whispering, Don't stop helping people, Liam, promise me. Then, he was on the battlefield again. Bodies, screams. A wounded soldier begging for help while orders told him to retreat. And Liam stayed, even when it cost him a stripe, a title, a career. The pit showed his pain, his mistakes, and his choices. The court saw it all. Then came the final memory, a burning desert, a glowing figure collapsing into the sand, an alien woman, Sailari. Her voice soft, Help me. And without question he did. Not because of orders, not because of reward, but because he couldn't walk away. The light faded. Liam dropped to one knee, exhausted. The chamber was silent. Then the Truth Keeper spoke. His memories are clear, his choices pure, his soul burdened, but unbroken. The mind scale pulsed. This time, it turned gold, a color never seen before. The nobles gasped. Kareth turned pale. Even King Veron stood in silence. Then he stepped forward. Rise, human. Liam slowly stood, breathing hard. The king's voice was calm but filled with something new. Respect. You have passed the trials. You've shown us who you are, not through words, but through the weight of your heart. He turned to the nobles. This human healed what our war could not. He protected a daughter I had nearly lost, and in doing so, reminded me of the man I once was. He looked at Liam again. For this, I offer not only your freedom, but a reward never given to a human before. The king reached into his robe and pulled out a small silver ring. He held it up high. "Dr. Liam, I name you Ambassador of the Flame, Protector of Peace, bonded guardian to the royal house." Whispers exploded through the chamber. An alien princess had a human guardian now. And no one could challenge it. But then the king said something else quietly just to Liam. "And if you choose it, not just her guardian." Liam looked at Sailari. She stepped forward, her eyes soft but certain. She didn't bow. She didn't ask. She just stood beside him and held out her hand. Liam took it. No hesitation. No fear. And the court saw something even more rare than gold on the scale. Unity. Later, on the high balcony, Liam stood with Sailari as fireworks lit the sky. He looked, down at the alien city, now whispering songs instead of rumors. He smiled. "You really think this will change anything?" She leaned her head on his shoulder. "It already has." "Will they accept me?" "Some won't," she said. "But they'll have to accept us." He looked at her. "I never asked for this." She smiled. "Neither did I. But sometimes, the universe chooses for us." He laughed softly. "Do you think your father truly accepts me?" She turned to face him, eyes glowing. "No," she said. "But I do." She reached into her robe and pulled out a new badge, one designed in both human and alien symbols. "You don't just belong here now, Liam." She clipped it to his chest. "You are here now." And across the stars, the story of a human medic and an alien princess spread like wildfire, not as a fairy tale, not as a scandal, but as a new beginning, where healing became power and love became a rebellion of its own.